Hi everybody, my name's Brooke and I am in my new room that I am calling my mom's lounge. And when I came up with that name, I thought I was being super cool and super swanky, and so I got online to see what other people were doing with their mom lounges, and apparently that's what it's called when you are a nursing mom and there's like a designated public spot to go and nurse your babies. It's called the mom lounge. So I kind of went back and forth whether maybe I shouldn't call it a mom's lounge, but ultimately I really liked it, so I'm going with it. So that's what I'm calling it. And the reason I didn't call it a sewing room or a craft room is because I do have a couple of chairs set up. I do want to, feel like I can come down here and chill and read a book and literally just lounge. So I haven't done a lot of that just yet. I haven't really done a lot of anything in this room because we're just kind of at a point where it's a comfortable place to be able to come down and really do anything. So, but today I wanted to go through my project stash, sewing projects that I have started over the years and just never got finished for whatever reason. And so I'm going to go through them and just kind of be like, oh, I forgot about this, probably, and decide which one I'm going to hopefully knock out today. Maybe 2, maybe 3, we'll see. Okay, so yeah, so welcome. And the lighting is kind of crazy down here, so I don't know how many videos I will end up doing. I do plan on getting a few more lights in here, but it is just, I feel like I look yellow on the screen. So anyway, I'm just rolling with it. So first of all, here is my, this is my fabric, my sewing projects that I have going and I have not ever finished for whatever reason. So I'm looking right here at the top. I've got 2 jumpsuits or rompers, whatever you want to call them, and they both need hemmed. So that's one project I think I can probably do, and I definitely want to get that done. That way I can wear these when the churches open back up. I can wear them out. And so I've got one that's sleeveless and one that is kind of 3/4 sleeve. So if you guys have never tried one of these on, I never in a million years thought I would like them. And one day I was desperate. I could not find anything. I can't remember what I was shopping for. I think I was shopping for a Lincoln dinner, but yep, that's what it was. And so I was just like, all right, I'm going to try it. And I put it on and I loved it. It's very flattering because it's monotone from head to toe. Of course, you can see that I got all black. But yeah, but they were both really, looks like I've hemmed this one. I just maybe need to cut it. So, alrighty, I need to get that done so I can wear those. Next thing is a little lightweight sweater of Cameron's. Need to get that done before she grows out of it and before it gets hot out. Let's see. Oh, this is a kind of like a cardigan. And I loved the fabric, and every time I wore it I got compliments on it, but I can't stand how long it is. So I was thinking about cutting it off at my waist and I don't know, I haven't decided, but I do like it. I might just donate it. Sounds like a lot of work. Looks like I got a little necktie of my girls that I need to fix. That looks like a hand stitch thing that would be pretty easy to knock out. And here is a romper from, I don't know, probably 3 years ago. The hem came out of it. And I don't know if I'm going to machine stitch or hand stitch this, so, but it is pretty cute. I think I would still wear it. That's what I was kind of thinking. Would I even wear this anymore? Because it was kind of a funky cut. It kind of went up really high here, so I always had to wear some kind of weird bra with it. Okay, I'll decide on that one. Oh, here's a little dress that got caught in either the washer or the dryer. So I was going to make it a high-low because look, it just kind of, I don't remember. And this was at our house 3 houses ago this happened. And look at that. So I was planning on cutting the front of that and just hemming it up and making it more of like a high-low. Not dramatic high-low because I don't want anything short, but all right, that's kind of easy. And here is some ruffle denim, stretch denim little pants that I'm certain won't even fit Cameron anymore. Oh, that's frustrating. That happened to me when I was growing up. My mom would start projects and I would grow before she finished them. So I don't know what I will do with these. If I knew somebody like this was the hardest part, the ruffles at the bottom. So I got that done. So if I could find somebody that I knew would want them, I may just make them, finish them up, get them off out of my bag here. Here is another set of those. And I remember making these, and I didn't have a pattern, and they turned out so big that they will fit me, literally. And I thought, well, so all they really need is elastic at the top, even though I don't think these would fit me anymore. I have lost some weight. So I'll have to decide what to do with those. Let's see here. So really, okay, so all of those I would say aren't too far gone. I think all of those are pretty small projects, you know, just a little snip and maybe a trim and a hem. But the last thing here, unless there's more in here that I'm not seeing. So this particular project is a rag quilt that I started for my niece when she was, I don't know, she was 2 or 3, and she is 20 now. So I still want to finish it though. It's really, really cute. I've never finished one of these rag quilts before. I don't even know if you call it a quilt, but yeah, I would really like to finish this. So I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to finish that. And then this one here, yes. So this was Cameron's baby blanket, and it was also a rag quilt as well. And I don't feel like I ran into any problems. I don't think that's why I quit on these. So this was supposed to be Cameron's, and she is getting ready to turn 12. So this is a super old project that I need to finish as well. Those would be easy. I mean, time consuming, but easy stitching. So looks like I don't have anything else. Maybe I just have some extra fabric in here. And that's it. Okay, so that does not look too bad. I think the first thing that I'm going to start with today is hemming up those black jumpsuits. And yeah, so I'm going to do that, and I will get back with y'all. Okay, so I got these jumpsuits hemmed up. The one that was already hemmed up, I went ahead and put a second stitch in to make it look nicer, and I'm glad I did. It definitely looks a lot nicer. And then I cut that off, and the stitching looks pretty good on that first one. When I got to the second one, the stitching just really kind of, I don't know, it looks pretty bad. I put it up to kind of act like I was wearing it, and you can't even tell, except for that, you know, I know that the stitching is not that great. So I don't know if you guys could tell what kind of sewing machine I have. It's just a super cheap Brother sewing machine. I bought 2 of them one year, one for each one of my girls for Christmas. They never really use them, so I actually ended up giving them to my mom just as backup sewing machines. I asked for one back because last year, whenever Cameron and I were going to sit down and make scrunchies together, I couldn't get any of my good sewing machines to work. I had remembered that my Singer that I love, that I absolutely love, when I had stopped sewing a couple of years ago, I remember being frustrated, and it had kapooed on me, and I'd had it worked on. It didn't really fix it. So anyway, I'm pretty motivated to either get one of those sewing machines working. One of them is a Singer kind of industrial type of sewing machine. It's nothing fancy, but I just wanted something that I knew I could sit down at and I could sew through 12 layers of denim if that's what I wanted to do that day. The other one is an Elna. It's a really old Elna. It's really a neat sewing machine, and so I really feel like if I can just get it serviced, I'm hoping that I can get that up and running. A friend of my husband's mother or grandmother died, I can't remember which one it was, and he really wanted me to have it because he knew that I enjoyed sewing, and I am thrilled to have it. So anyway, kind of got off on a I'm just kind of like, I hate that stitching. It looks terrible. And I think you guys probably know what I mean, right? But it could be my needle, it could be my thread. I don't think it's my bobbin. I don't know. So what I think I'm going to tackle next is just this little sweater of Cameron's. It looks adorable on her. I want her to be able to get a little bit more use out of. And what happened was this came loose out of some stitching up here. And you know what I used to sew? I used to actually create, design outfits. It seems like these days, you know, just recently, this is pretty much what I'm doing, and that's okay. I don't mind doing this, but just so FYI, I normally used to actually sew outfits and kind of fun stuff like that. So anyway, I'm going to tackle this next. Okay, so that was super duper easy. It's done. I'm glad I just went ahead and did that. She's still got some, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks left of cold weather that she can fit that in. So she'll be happy about that. She probably forgot that she even had it. So I was trying to figure out where I got this out of the bag, and I opened it up and it's all sewn. So I almost feel like, if memory serves me, that what happened was when I was cutting all the little slits for it to rag out in the washing machine, I almost feel like maybe I accidentally cut a couple of the threads, so I just needed to go back and like re-sew those. So I'm going to hold on to this and probably wait until I have my little TV time tonight by myself. And I'm just going to go through every little square and check to see if I accidentally cut one of them, because I kind of think that's what happened. But other than that, I cannot find anything else that I have to do with this. And so the fun thing about these things, you guys, if you've never seen these, is, so how you make this is you have two pieces of fabric and you put the batting in between, and you just do the stitching right over it. So it's like a sandwich with the batting is like the meat. And on one side, you really don't see the stitching, right? Everything's kind of tucked in. But on the other side, you keep it real raw, and you intentionally make the squares bigger, and then you cut this, and when it comes out in the washing machine a couple times, it frays, and it looks absolutely adorable. The reason that the idea that I got this from was when I was like 20, I taught preschool for a little bit, and one of the little girls brought in one of these little quilts that her grandmother had made her, and it was so cute. And I asked her mom where she got it, and she told me that her grandma had made it for her, and I must have just went on and on how much I loved it, and she ended up bringing the pattern to me. So that's where I got the idea, and so I've made a couple of these. Well, I've never finished one, okay? So this is one of them that I started, and that's what I'm gonna do tonight, is I'm just gonna look through it and see if there's anything that I missed, because I certainly don't want to put it in the washing machine if there's just like one little bitty row of stitching that I need to do. So, and I think that's what it is. So for something fun, I'm going to go and I'm gonna work on this quilt for just a little bit. I know my husband's wanting to do a bonfire tonight. We are working in well, he's mainly working in the backyard, and he's got a bunch of brush and stuff, and we love doing family bonfires. So I might have maybe a half hour left of sewing that I can get in today. So I'm just gonna lay these out and kind of figure out my pattern maybe that I had. They might be in order, they probably are. And so this is what the squares look like before you put them all together. It just has the batting in there. You see that? So this is a really easy and fun quilt. So I gave all of this like calico type fabric, this just quilting fabric, to my mom. I have to admit, I'm kind of regretting it. The only fabric I have left in this whole fabric room, like all that stuff, it's all knit, because that's kind of what I was into whenever I quit sewing. So anyway, so that's what I'm gonna do next, and I probably will not have like a finished product to show you, because this is probably something I'll end up doing just a little bit here and a little bit there. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this part of the video. I might tag the other videos on as I'm doing them. So thank you. All right, so I just want to give you guys a little bit of an update on my sewing project stash that I'm working through. I'm on 3 rows of this rag quilt, and it kind of took me down memory lane. This is one of my first sewing projects I ever started, and I didn't have a cutting board. I didn't have one of these rulers. I didn't have a rotary cutter. So I remember literally measuring out every little square, and I could see all my little markings on it. So that was kind of fun, I guess, to see. And I didn't get too worked up over trying to match up all the seams, just because I just think it's kind of a lost cause, because I know my cutting wasn't exact back then. And we're just going to use it as like a throw blanket on our our family theater area that we have downstairs. So yeah, so it's kind of fun. So I'll show you guys. See, this is the I got 3 rows of 7. When I counted out all the squares, I had 51 squares. So I'm not really sure what the dimensions, you know, if I was gonna have a little tag at the top, you know, of my blanket or what. Did I show you this slide? I don't know. So I'm hoping to finish this today. It's actually going really quickly. You know, I've got the bulk of the work done. Everything was cut out and all the squares were X'd out. I didn't have any, you know, stray squares that hadn't been completed. So I'm not really sure how I ended up with 51 squares. That just goes to show that I was very new and very green when I was back then sewing. The other thing I wanted to share you guys is that I only found 1 seam that had been cut into. So I'm going to go ahead and put purple thread on my sewing machine and fix that, and then throw this in the washing machine and have it fray up, and so you guys can see what these rag quilts look like. I think I'll probably have to wash it a couple times to really get it frayed, but they're so cute. And I did show this to Cameron. I had never shown it to her. I just did not want to show it to her. I mean, when she was 3 or 4 or 7 or 8, you know, and then her be kind of breathing down my neck for me to get it done. I know that's kind of selfish of me, but she was pretty thrilled. It won't match her room at all, but she said that she would still like to have it put on her bed. So I think it'll be really cute. The other thing I'm totally going to work on today, and this is top priority, is we had a bonfire last night, and my husband got 2 burn marks in this sweatshirt, and you might be looking at it and being like, who cares? It's a $5 sweatshirt from Walmart. But it's not. He buys everything all American, or he buys everything American made. So he pays a pretty penny for everything, and that's good on him, right? So this was a pretty steep sweatshirt price wise, and so he's pretty upset about it. So I'm going to do my best to I'm going to be watching you guys on YouTube, maybe see if you guys have any tips of what to do with these burn marks. We already looked this morning, and people put white vinegar on him, but one of them actually burnt all the way through. So he kind of wants me to just, you know, do a couple of little like hand stitches and get that done. So that's what's going on in my sewing stash today. So follow along. I'm having a good time getting through this stuff. See ya. All right, so it's going in the washing machine. I am going to put a few other things in there with it. Just some like white towels. Super excited to see how it turns out. Okay, I'm back, and I actually finished everything out of my sewing stash. So I just wanted to share all those projects with you guys, the finished product, and then show you my empty basket. So that was kind of my goal. I think I've worked on this for 3 or 4 days. A lot of this stuff has been in this basket for years, like 20 years. 15 years, and it just took a matter of an afternoon to finish, or some of it just took like literally 10 minutes. So I encourage everyone, if you have, you know, unfinished projects, dive in, maybe do 1 a week, 1 a month. It does feel really, really good. So I actually have an empty basket on my shelf right now. So let's get started. I do have paint on my hands. I'm in the middle of another project, so it's all dry, so it's gonna be fine. So the first thing is Cameron's baby blanket. My daughter, she's getting ready to turn, in about 3 days, she's gonna turn 11. So you can see that this was an old project, and it's a rag quilt. So on this side, obviously it's, it needs to go through the washer and dryer a couple more times. This is just after one time, and it'll get more and more shaggy looking. And then this is the backside, but I'm really happy how that turned out. She's excited to put it on her bed. She has a really light, well, white mainly, comforter on her bed, and so the dog always has to have a blanket to get up on her bed, and so she said that this will be the dog's blanket. So love that. That turned out so cute. This dress I showed you guys, that the front of it had been eaten up by the washer or dryer, I don't remember which one. There's my other dog. So I made it a high-low. Well, then once I got it done and I ironed it out, I got it on the ironing board, I realized that there was a spot back here that had gotten eaten up too. So I had to cut that off. So it's kind of high and low, and maybe, you know what? It actually looks like it's kind of handkerchief hem now because it's longer on the sides. So I'm really happy with this. Literally, this was one of those that didn't take me long at all. And I'm glad I finally did it because now I have a dress to wear when churches get back in session. The next thing is this little romper. I'm going to close this door real quick. Is this romper, and I considered not doing it because I wasn't even sure if I would end up wearing it anymore. But what I did was, instead of bringing it up twice to make it a really pretty hem on the inside, I just brought it up once, so it's not going to be as short, because that was one thing that I didn't really like about it. I had a little problems. It's super thin fabric. You see, I do need to see it's just a real rough hem. So I'm going to see how it looks when I get it on. I actually haven't tried it on, but I did have a hard time getting the right needle, the right tension, and all that kind of stuff. But once I figured all that out, I just zoomed, 2 loops around on each leg, and it looks pretty cute. So I do remember getting rid of the belt last year that goes with this. It was like a really wide yellow belt. It's really, really cute, and I just thought I would probably never wear this again, so I got rid of it. So I'm gonna have to come up with something else for that, but love that. Glad I got that done. My dogs, it's not that big of a deal, but that's my project back there why I have paint all over my hands. So these jeggings are ruffled jeggings, and these were the 3rd pair that I'd made for my daughter, because every time she grew out of a pair, she wanted me to make her a new pair. These were probably the yuckiest ones. I don't know. They just didn't. They're supposed to, the legs, the ruffles, because I stack them real close together at the bottom, they're supposed to stick out really far like this. For whatever reason, this fabric didn't do that. But they're still really cute. So I went ahead and I finished them, and then we're just going to give them to a friend of ours. I have a bunch of clothes I'm going to give her, so I messaged her and asked her what her daughter's waist size was, and just made them fit her perfectly. So she's got a brand new pair of ruffled jeggings coming, so I'm pretty happy about that. That'll be fun to give those to her. And then these are ones, same thing, same concept. I attempted to make some without a pattern one time years ago for Ashley, and again, these did not fluff out either. I don't know. I'm going to have to figure out. I think maybe I put them too close together or something, the ruffles. But I went ahead and finished these up. They're just for me to wear, to the grocery store or whatever. Kind of, I don't know. I don't know if I will ever wear them. I tried to imagine myself whether I would wear them or not. And I thought, well, if nothing else, I'll finish them up. And in a year, if I haven't worn them, then I'll just donate them. So another project that really didn't take too long. So this one was in the box, the basket. I couldn't decide if I really even wanted to. I was thinking about cutting it off. So last night I actually tried it on and to cut it, to pin it, and to figure out. And I just looked in the mirror and I just decided I don't really like it anymore. I think I've worn it so many times, it's kind of faded and stuff. So I just didn't really want to mess with that. So the one thing that I didn't do, well, 2 things that I didn't do, but I'm just going to donate it. I'm just going to get rid of it. I'm not going to, it's too long. I don't like it. The other thing that I didn't get done, oh shoot, what'd I do with it? It was that little bow tie. Oh, here it is. And a closer inspection. So there was a little piece that goes around this part that kind of ties it all together, and it's gone, missing, whatever. So I have to go get a piece of like satin, silk ribbon, satin I think, and just, I will just hand stitch it around, and then I'll hand stitch it on here. But because we're in quarantine and I'm not running to Walmart every time I need something, I'm just going to wait until I get there, or next time we need groceries, and go ahead and get that. And that'll take me like 10 minutes. So I guess officially it's not, my basket is not empty. So here it is. I'm going to put this little bitty thing back in here. I do have that pink blanket to share with you guys. So it's actually in the dryer right now, getting all, I don't know, frayed out or whatever. So when that is done, then I'm going to go ahead and share that with you. I just wanted to get all this out there because those jeggings, I have a feeling that Mom is going to come by and get those pretty soon, and I just wanted to hurry up and get this filmed before she comes by and gets those. And I guess I kind of also wanted to be able to say that I like officially did it in like 4 days. So get in there, get in that sewing stash, do one thing, you know, do like the easiest thing first. It feels really good. And like those blankets, that purple blanket that has been sitting in this basket for like 10 years, it literally was one stitch. I cannot believe one stitch, and she could have used it, but I must have just been at my, you know, frustrated or something, and so I just set it aside and just didn't pick it up again for a while. So hold on just a second and I will go get that pink blanket out of the dryer. It turned out absolutely adorable. A little bit about these rag quilts is that I love these. I think I want to make another one of these, especially now that I have better cutting tools. Yeah, I think that I would really like to make another one of these in the future. So I don't really consider myself a quilter at all, just because I never felt like I could get those corners just perfectly. But I kind of feel like I feel a bit more confident now, you know, just after finishing those two. So hold your horses, and I'm going to show you that big pink one that I made. All right, guys, so I have one more thing to share with you that I finished out of my ongoing sewing stash. This is a blanket, a rag quilt that I started, I'm thinking like 15 years ago. And so it is complete, and it took me a couple of afternoons to complete it. So this is the, this is one side. Woohoo! And then this is the fun side. And so this has been through the washer and the dryer one time, so it'll fray, oops, a little bit more each time. And I just love the looks of this. I think it's super cute. So I just wanted to share this last thing with you and show you that my basket is empty except for this little bow tie, and I have to wait to get ribbon for that. So alrighty, so happy sewing, and I'd love to hear and see any of you guys' projects that you have finished. See you later.